All right, in today's market breakdown, we'll be analyzing key movements with gold, US Japan, DXY, and also yields. So right now we're looking at yields. Why are yields very important to look at? Well, because if yields is constantly going up, right, then that could mean one bad thing for gold. I mean, gold could be going down, and if yields is going down, I mean, gold could be going up. So right now, as you can see on the previous week, we actually closed very bullish on yields, and we broke out of this range that we've been in for a good minute, right? So anything can really happen. So my input is this, right? If yields keep right now, we are overbought on the RSI right now, right? So it could be retracing back down maybe into this level, right? But let's say this, right? It broke out this range. If yields does something like this, right, where it pushed down and touched the level and start pushing back up higher, right? Then that's not gonna be good for um, gold, because if yields is going up, gold is going down. And if yields is going down, gold is going up. So if the momentum continues to stay strong, then gold could be eventually start, going down. So let's go to gold real quick. Now, right now on gold, we can see how gold is constantly making, higher highs. We can see how on the opening of this gap it actually shot up and then back choppy, right? So, but we are overbought, so we can see how price kind of came down and then right back here. So at any moment, really, gold could drop, at least make a deep retracement. I do believe we're still overall bullish, but I'll be very cautious as gold is constantly, making these, constantly going higher. Because if yields keep pushing up, then at any moment gold can drop at any moment. It just hasn't caught up to it yet, or at least reacted to it yet. And also, you got a lot of stuff going on with the, I guess you can say, trade war, tech war, however you want to say, with Trump and Green trying to take over Greenland and everything. So all that stuff plays a huge part of this. So right now we are very choppy. So I'll be very careful in this stage where we at right now. So I'm gonna put this here, because now this is the new. I keep this here right now, but the new support level. I'm gonna put this right here because where we at right now, we're on this support level. So at any moment, once it start breaking below here, then these could be clear signs that price can drop, right? So I'm gonna delete this because this already happened now. So at any moment, if price decides to, like how it's doing right now, so right now we kind of here with it. Price came down, retrace up here. At any moment, if price decides to break below, retest, and then does something like this, then we could be seeing price start dipping down, right? So that's something to be mindful of if it start breaking these levels and making these type of structure pattern. But if gold continue to stay above this level, or at least in this zone right here, between this range, then we could be seeing price. But once it breaks below here, like something like this, then we could be seeing gold drop. But like I said, I would be very cautious on gold only because of how yields moving, especially if yields continue to make strong momentum like this. Let's go to DXY real quick. Now DXY is starting to push down. If we look at the weekly time frame, we are in a transition phase, right? So right now price is pushing down right now. Losing a downtrend in a transition phase, right? So price can easily continue going back in this weekly direction, but we are in a transition phase. What does a transition phase mean? It means we could be potentially reversing higher. So if price can get above here, then yeah, we could be seeing DXY push higher. So this phase is not done yet, but right now on the 4-hour time frame, we can see how price was in this nice up momentum right here, right? So we can see how we was going up in a nice uptrend, and all of a sudden we created a fell high, breaking, retesting, and going lower. So it's gonna be very important to see how price react off of this last level right here. So the reason why I say that, because let's put this, line this back up, right? The reason why I say that, because there we go, because this is the last down candle before price made this huge leg up. So it's gonna be very key. So let's say if price come into this level and push back above this zone right here, right? and retest, then we could be seeing DXY push back up. But once it break below here, then that'll be a clear indication to be seeing price go back down of the weekly direction. So what that means for pairs like USD Japan, that means USD Japan could be potentially pushing down. So if you go to what I mean for pairs like Euro USD, that means pairs like USD could be going up. It just all depends on what DXY decides to do. Obviously, there are other key factors that plays a part of this, but I just focus on what I know and what works for me. So as you can see right now, we was in a nice up momentum. We line this up, and I love drawing this stuff out because structure tells a story. So I don't chase price or try to figure out. I just let structure tell me the story and what it's going to do next. You can see it was in a nice up momentum, and all of a sudden we made a fail high, and the price all of a sudden broke this at a retest. So the reason why I put this right here, right, because based on what the 4 hour decides to do, right, on this candle, because it's going to depend on how we react off of the resistance. So let's say if we end up closing bearish on the next 4 hour candle, right, because this can close bullish, right, but then on the next 4 hour candle, we can end up closing bearish. If that happened, right, then that could be like a clear indication that we could be pushing back down, especially if the next 8 hours decides to close bearish and break below here, then yeah, that could be a clear indication to see price push back down. So it really all depends on how we react off this level. See, a lot of times people like to, let's say if I was selling into this, right, what a lot of people like to do, they like to wait for price to come into the level and then try to sell off that level once it tap into it. No, don't do that, because what if price decides to continue to push up? Then you took a huge loss. So what you need to do is wait for price to come into this level, right? And this is where precise entry come in. I can go to the hour time frame, right? And I might look for something like this. I might look for price to do something like this on a lower time frame. And then boom, that's my entry. So now I'm selling off of that, stop loss above here. So the lowest I go to is the hour. So it's going to be, depends on what y'all comfortable with, but that's how you want to do it on any kind of concept. Whenever you trade into a higher time frame level, don't just sell or buy into that level. Wait for price to show some type of reaction. And it don't have to even be structure wise. It can be just be from a candle standpoint. Like if the next 2 candles close bearish, boom, that'd be a good indication to sell. Or if the next candle close bearish, that could be a next indication to sell. So just to give y'all some nice gems. So other than that, if you have any pair you want to break down, drop in the comments below. I'll be glad to break it down for you. And also make sure you follow to get more value content like this. And also soon I will be making content on tips on AI investments, because obviously AI isn't going nowhere, and the whole AI infrastructure and how you can get ahead of this next wave, because we are in a stage where what can I say, we're in a transitioning where it's going to be new wealth being created, right? So if you don't know how the infrastructure operates and how this is built around AI and what's to really, pay attention to, then you won't know what to really invest in. So I'll be doing, videos like that on what to invest in as well as far as that. So other than that, I will see you in the next video. Peace.